And just like that, Karen Phillips is here to say hi, Jack, and everyone, Merry Christmas to all. First one tonight, Karen. All right, you're usually in the number 4 or 5 position. My name is Jack Willard, and this is Worldwide Ramblings for a Thursday, the 18th of December, 2025, Christmas. Well, 7 days away, right? Less than that. So, are you ready? I never am. I never am. It's it's a stressful season. Can't see my on-air sign, huh? That's a little better. Hi, Pam Donnelly. Welcome all. How are you? Nice to have you aboard with us, one of our long timers. Neo from East Afghanistan. Hey, how are you, Neo? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And good to be with you. We'll be talking about a few things today, but your topics, as I say in the description, are always welcome. Your topics are always welcome. Helen McDonald from Australia. Hi, Jack and everyone. Welcome to you. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. I saw Donna Rossi. I think I might have said this a number of weeks ago in ShopRite, and I froze thinking, is this Donna Rossi or Marianne Rafari? Because I wanted to use that line. I wanted to tell Donna Rossi about you. Maybe she'd come on and join us. Then we'd have Donna Rossi and Marianne Rossi. But I wasn't 100% sure that I was speaking to Donna Rossi because her and Marianne Rossi seem to look a little alike, as I remember. I don't see either one of them very often. But so I didn't say anything about that. Sue Pelham from the Pelham Parkway is here. Kenneth Winters from right here in the Hudson Valley. Well, good to see you again. Um, Ken, we have a washer dryer now, which I washed my clothes in for the first time. Actually, there's so many buttons and settings, and you know, Andy actually brings the clothes down, and then Karen and I went down and I watched her set it up, but it's high tech, doesn't use a lot of water. Um, so many settings and what have you. Andy can tell from an app on his phone when the dryer has shut off. Welcome to the 21st century. They're black machines, which Andy purchased. Andy purchased. He got a blessing, and he's putting some work into the house. So that's very, very, very good. Very, very good. So won't be going to Mr. Washy Washy except with the big stuff, and so I won't be in Brother Bruno's quite as often, or ShopRite, because that always led to ShopRite. A trip to the uh, laundry always led to ShopRite, which led to spending money and sometimes on things we just don't need. Right? But nobody listened to me. Nobody listened to me. But we'll still be down there, Brother Bruno's. We love it. We love it. They work so hard. They got to be number one. I mean, they blow Pellegrini's out of the water. They gotta. You can just tell. You can just tell. Um, so let's see here. Good to see you, Sue. And also some hot topics, but not hot topic. I know you think that's witty, Neil. So some hot topics, but not hot topic. Well, depends what you consider a hot topic, I suppose. There's has not been any big announcements from Pastor Bob, if that's what you mean. Here's Teresa Panel. Hi, Jack and all. I won't be here too long. My power is out due to high winds in Tupelo. My goodness, there's high winds in Tupelo, and my phone battery will drain quick. Really? I see. Well, we understand. Don't forget the replay. Hello, replay crowd. You're the biggest audience here, so we'll acknowledge you right there. And welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. No, I am not Mr. Washy Washy. Eloy is Mr. Washy Washy. And Mr. Dry Cleaners, too, Dutch Girl Cleaners. He didn't change the name when he bought that business, but he did change the name for the laundromat. At one time, it was Dirty Duds. Dirty Duds. Sunshine, how are you? Hi, nice to be here live. Exactly. I've been going there so long, it's Uncle Bruno's to me. Well, yeah, you got the whole family there. You got Mr. Rubino. They're not Bruno's. You got Mr. Rubino, Ma Rubino, who's often working back there in the kitchen, 3 days a week, whatever. He does 3 days a week. I know everybody's schedule except the tall, dark skinned dude in the back. I don't know his schedule. He never works out front. He's always in the back, preparing food and stuff like that. But Mr. Rubino works Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. He makes pizza on Friday nights, giving the regular guy Marlon a break. We finally met Marlon's wife. Well, we had met his wife, and then we met his baby the other day. First time we ever knew Marlon had a baby. Very cute. And he and his brother, Luke, work there, and they both have Sunday, Monday off. Then there's Italo Rubino. He has Tuesday, Wednesday off, but he sometimes comes in Tuesday. This is what you notice when you go there as much as we have. Tuesday, he sometimes comes in to load the soda and iced tea in the water for a little bit, then he leaves. Then, of course, Antonella. Monday is Antonella Pizza Day. Oh, she's got that magic touch, although Marlon's very good and Mr. Rubino's very good. But those are basically your pizza people at New York pizza at its finest. Hello, Bayou Girl. Hello, Jack and family in the hospital. Oh, dear. Just saying hi. Much love to all. I hope you're okay. If you can, shoot me an email and let me know, if we need to pray for anything. So, Mr. Washy Washy, it's really not the official name of the laundry. There's no sign out front, but on the bulletin board, there's a paper about their services that they have there. You can obviously drop your laundry off in the morning, and there he refers to it as Mr. Washy Washy's laundry, Mr. Washy Washy. So there you go. Oh dear. Yeah, it's been a while. We've been going there a long time. Mr. Rubino started off at Calandria in 1979 as a regular worker. And Mr. Calandria didn't take him long before he decided he didn't want to be in the pizza business, probably because it's so many hours, and he had other businesses. I don't know if he's related to the Calandria car dealership in Newburgh. I never asked that question. But so even then, he said to Mr. Calandria, "Well, I'd like to buy it." He was going away on a trip, Mr. Rubino, and said, "When I come back, we'll talk about it." He came back, and Calandria had been sold to those two guys that were there for 39 years. And oh, geez. I know them like I know my own name. Is Sal one of them? No, Sal. And his brother begins with a P. Can't think of it right now. But they were there for 39 years before they sold to the guys that own a bunch of pizza places, etc., in this area, including Frank's Pizza. So, Sunshine, your life caught my eye. Oh, your title caught my eye while scrolling YouTube. Curious why you say silly. Because I think we sue people I can't say the word tonight, frivolously. Riley can do what she wants with her own eggs. I'm going to be even more controversial than that, and people are going to disagree with that. I know one, if she comes on, definitely disagree. Women can do with their body what they want to do, as long as it doesn't involve another body, another life, in my opinion, that's growing inside them. Then it's two lives and it's different. But, if a woman wants to practice the world's oldest profession, who the hell is the government to say she can't, you know? Who the hell is the government to say she can't? That's between her and God. Her and God. I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me on that, but you know, back in my days, my young days, okay? We're going back more than 30 years when I might have gone into a certain place to see somebody dance. I noticed that a lot of the women working in there were more beautiful than I expected, and they would tell me that they have a child, their husband ran out on them, they can't find them for child support, and they can't work at the time for something like $8 an hour at McDonald's and support their family and their kid. So they do this and they make 5, 6, 7, $800 a week. And I'm not about to judge them. I'm not about to judge them. I'm not about to judge them now, then, or ever. I got too much sin in my own life to judge other people's sin, you know? It's between them and God. So I said it. I didn't really plan to say it, but I did. You think that's true? I do. Thank you for answering my question. All respect to you. Well, yeah, I'm just a sinner saved by grace. I hope I'm saved by grace. I hope I'm saved by grace. I hope there's a spot for me. It doesn't have to be a big mansion or anything like that. I'll take a studio apartment. That'll be good. Homer Overcash is here. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Homer Overcash here under the name Eagle 28115. 28115. So we have a video. Do I still have? I think I got too many windows up and I canceled out one of my windows. You can only open so many tabs. So how am I going to get to my other channel? Well, I'll do it by first doing our lead. Well, it was in our title. It's the second thing that we talk about. Let me talk about the update from Bob Joyce Music. Okay, I'm sure many of you saw this, but some of you didn't. Um, and let me get rid of that and that. Bob Joyce Music wanted to talk about the bobjoycemusic.com, which is uh, there's a pay section where you can see exclusive content. You can know about things before other people do, like a future concert, and maybe get access to first dibs on getting tickets, just exclusive background footage. And they recently did some taping in what looked to be a professional soundstage with Bob singing with a microphone, singing behind the piano, and singing with the guitar. And to join bobjoycemusic.com, it's $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month. And so we talked about that, I guess, the last time we were together. And Bob Joyce Music wants to clarify what this is all about. It has nothing to do with the church services. They will continue to be free. If you go to the church, feel free to rob God. It's between you and God if you want to rob God when you go to Household of Faith. Truth is, people don't rob God. They are very generous because he doesn't even take an offering. The box is in the back. I assume it's still in the back. Somewhere the box is. He doesn't put people through that pressure. It's between you and God if you want to put something in that box. We know it's biblical that we give our first fruits to God. So people are very generous. You know, they come from around the United States, Canada, and the country, and they don't put $5 in it and they'll spend $75 at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, none of the stuff that you're used to is changing, but Bob Joyce Music is something new. which is put together by Bob's professional management, LWC Media. So they wanted to do a clarification and they posted this yesterday. We want to take a moment to share a bit of clarity and vision behind the Bob Joyce Music membership. Bob Joyce preaching, worship, and ministry will always remain freely available. The optional membership exists simply to help cover the practical cost of recording, like his CDs. He's going to do another one in the spring, filming, editing, and sharing music and video content. As this community grows, Bob also carries a long term vision for a beautiful household of faith chapel. She says, chapel, I think, the church is going to be significant in size. I've heard everything from 1,500 seats to 3,000. I don't know. Um, you wouldn't want to build something that's like 400 or 500 seats and then immediately realize you didn't solve the problem. However, having said that, well, it's complicated. We'll talk about it later. So they want to build a real church next to the barn, which will probably become the youth center or something like that that they have now, which has got about 262 seats, and there's no overflow rooms. So that's a real problem. We have talked about that. Um, Bob also carries a long term vision for a beautiful household of faith chapel, a peaceful space for worship, prayer, and music created to honor God and serve others. This is a hope for the future and will share more as that vision takes shape. As a thank you, members receive access to exclusive performances and behind the scenes content. Your support goes towards creating future music and video video projects. You just have to go to bobjoycemusic.com and you'll be able to sign up there. And you'll see some stuff that is just posted there. But for the exclusive content, you need to join. You need to become a member at $9.99 a month. Okay, so that's a clarification that came from them, and we'll have more to say during the show uh, tonight on that. Now, I think I've opened up a tab where I should have an extra tab now. And so I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. But let's see here. I think I can do it now. Just open up my own channel so I can see my own channel. Um, so we call the Silly Riley Eggs lawsuit clarification from Bob Joyce Music. So we talked about that. And there is a update that Karen pointed me to. Um, but the Riley Keough, Travolta, Elvis, Pastor Bob link question mark. That video so far has about 368 hits, and we put it up this afternoon, so that's doing okay. Lovely picture of Riley Keough there, and watch that if you haven't. But you may want to hear the backstory. Um, just look here. Let me look into that video and see what people are saying. There's a commercial. You think you know David's story. You think it was Christmas. A boy who became a legend. Ah, yes. David, a boy who became a legend. I think they're talking about King David. So Elaine Peterson checked in there and she said, agreed with me that it's kind of a bizarre story. A lawsuit over this doesn't seem necessary. Love you, Jack. See you tonight. Nancy and in memoriam Terry Whitmore checked in. Hi, Jack. Hope to catch you later. Um, Marilyn Nadam. Hope to catch you later. Now we add Pastor Bob. I'll explain that too. It's a fair comment. Why did I put that in there? And you would say, You could probably think because that's the magic words, and you'd be right. You'd be half right about that. But anyway, Anna, hope you're here, whether it be live or in the replay. Uh, uh, it's showbiz. Oh, we have probably a negative Nelly, maybe. Family is good looking. It makes sense. Musical talent does have a gene, and the Presley family is good looking. Okay, that's a valid comment. Not negative. It makes sense. Sure, sure. No, I I can understand someone thinking about Riley, John Travolta thinking about Riley if he knew the family, if he knew the family. Pam checked in and Teresa Panel checked in. Helen, who's here, and Katina Swatsworth. Wow, I would have never guessed that one. Lisa Marie and Riley donating eggs. Who knows how many Presleys are running around? That's an understatement. Yeah, I think I might agree with you on that. We heard from Belinda Taylor. I didn't remember her mentioning this a year ago. I can barely remember last night. So let's see here. Let's go. Got so many. Here we are, and Sammy, hi Sammy, hits the thanks button for $5. Thank you so much for hitting the thanks button. That's a great start to get the uh, the budget up. I'm not going to go into a long spiel about it, just to say that I appreciate that. Because you're going to know what I'm going to say. We're way behind, and we shouldn't be way behind in December. So anything you can do, whether it be on the thanks button or the Cash App, which I'll mention later, is very, very much appreciated and needed. Let's see here. Miles Wright, hijacking everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jupiter's Realm still with us. That's just bizarre. Well, um, let's see here. That means I should really read the first part of the story. I'm trying to look at all my tabs here, and I think it would be this one because the update. Um, my friend Rob doesn't realize when I say I'm going live, that means I can't be chatting. I can't be chatting. I got to get ready to go live means I got to get ready to go live. He's out there in Michigan with that crazy governor. Now she's trying to rap. She's not a rapper. Um, let's see the update. I may have to do this arse backwards if you excuse my French. Why is it that the French get blamed for all curse words? And not that arse. I mean, Jesus rode in on one. He rode in on one, Yeah. Priscilla Presley's lawyer is pushing back against what he calls outrageous claims involving Riley Keough and John Travolta. Are they saying that it didn't happen? Us Weekly has the exclusive details on the legit response after the shocking allegations were made. I don't know why they would be allegations and whose business it is. What if Riley wanted to sell her eggs to John Travolta for Kelly Preston, his late wife? She's no longer with us, sadly, no longer uh, with us. It says read more, but there's going to be a catch to that, I imagine. Let's see here. In the Tuesday, December 16th filing, so it is a December 16th filing. Krause, that's one of the management people that worked with Lisa Marie, right? Lisa Marie's ex husband, Michael Lockwood, told her that Travolta and Preston had used Lisa Marie's eggs to get pregnant. Lockwood, 64, allegedly claimed that Travolta and Preston approached Lisa Marie in 2010 about obtaining new eggs. Per Krause, Lockwood told her that Travolta claimed he did not want Lisa Marie's eggs with heroin. In the other article, it says because they would have heroin on them. heroin on them and worked out a deal with the Presley family for Riley Keough, 36, to give her eggs to Travolta and Preston, which then resulted in the birth of their son, Ben. Yeah, Ben Travolta in 2010. The filing claimed Lockwood told Krause that Keough was paid $10,000 to $20,000, um, along with a Jaguar for the eggs. Yes, I told you there was a cool car associated in this deal. The National Enquirer first reported the amended complaint. Wednesday, the 17th, which is just yesterday now, Priscilla's lawyer, Marty Singer, Priscilla's lawyer, here comes Priscilla. Priscilla's lawyer, Marty Singer, told us after motion in this case and unsuccessfully seeking to have Presley's counsel on record, Marty Singer disqualified from representing her in this matter. Bridget Krause, Kevin Fialco, and their co-conspirators, now we're going to use that word, have demonstrated that there is no bar too low, no ethical line that they are willing to cross in an effort to cause further pain for Priscilla and her family. I am not getting this. I am not getting this, you know. If Riley wanted to sell her eggs to John Travolta and the late Kelly Preston, I have no problem with that. It's her body. We're not talking about another life that is growing inside her that they want to terminate. We're not talking that, because that to me is a whole other issue. Having said that, it's not the unpardonable sin. If you've had an abortion, the blood of Christ can cover your sin, can cover your sin. It's not the unpardonable sin. I remember Pastor Jack Hayford had a book that was addressed to people that had had abortions and now lived in total guilt. And the book was called I Will Hold You in Heaven. I Will Hold You in Heaven. Mm. So now I wonder if I could get back to the original story, because there's a picture of Riley, the beautiful Riley, with her beautiful mother, Lisa Marie. Singer added, in a completely improper effort to um, exert undue pressure on Presley to retract her legitimate, truthful claims, Krause and her co conspirators have also sued Presley's son, cousin, and assistant. Oh, come on. It's like a suing war going on here. It's a suing war. In regard to the recent claims made by Krause, I know they don't like Krause, regarding Travolta and Lisa Marie, Singer told Us Magazine. These recent outrageous allegations, and I'm not sure what they are, have absolutely nothing to do with the claims in the case, the conduct of Krause, Fialco, and their new lawyers. They are on their fourth set of attorneys. It's shameful and is absolutely something that will be addressed in court. Um, it goes on, and you can read it in Us Magazine, but I don't think we want to go into all that. So there you go. Now let's see here if I can find Karen's first post that I did in is it this one right here? Yeah, it is. Okay. The post that I read in the other video, which some of you have already seen, Riley Keough is the biological mother of John Travolta's son, a lawsuit claims. A lawsuit from two of Priscilla's former business partners claim that Keough was paid to donate eggs to Travolta and his late wife, Kelly Preston. A lawsuit from two of Priscilla Presley's former business partners claims that Riley Keough is the biological mother of John Travolta and Kelly Preston's son, Ben. Ben. Presley's former business partner Bridget Krause alleges that Lisa Marie Presley's ex, Michael Lockwood, told her the story of Ben Travolta's secret parentage. The complaint alleges that and this is what I'm trying to figure out. What's the big objection here? The complaint alleges that Lockwood said Keough was paid between $10,000 and $20,000 to donate the eggs, and also a Jaguar. It doesn't say that here. A shocking lawsuit now claims that Riley Keough is the biological mother of John Travolta's youngest son. Why would it be shocking? What's so shocking? I don't get that part. It's her business what she does. It's her business what she does. If she donated eggs, that's nobody's business but Riley Keough's and her husband. A shocking lawsuit now claims that Riley Keough is the biological mother of John Travolta's youngest son. Two of Priscilla Presley's former business partners, and this is the one she's had major disputes with, claiming that they have gone against her and took advantage. I think that she's even claiming elderly abuse. Elderly abuse. You can do that after a certain age. Oh, it seems to me like you're just abusing the elderly. I guess I can start saying that now. I don't know. She's older than me, though. Two of Priscilla Presley's former business partners, Bridget Krause and Kevin Fialco, are engaged in a legal battle with Presley's son. Yes, we have to introduce the other character, uh, Navarone Garcia. Navarone Garcia, over an alleged breach of contract in a new filing, which Entertainment Weekly from Yahoo has reviewed. Krause claims that Michael Lockwood, the ex-husband of Presley's late daughter with Elvis Presley, Lisa Marie Presley, told her that Travolta and his late wife, Kelly Preston, approached the Presleys for an egg donation around 2010. The complaint claims that Lockwood said Travolta and Preston previously used Lisa Marie's eggs to get pregnant, though it does not specify actually used the eggs, does not specify whether any such pregnancy was carried to term. The complaint also says Lockwood claimed that the couple no longer wanted to use Lisa Marie's eggs because they did not want eggs with heroin on them. Heroin? I know about certain barbiturates and stuff. Heroin, I did not know that, but maybe it is in the book. I don't know. I have read part of the book. I need to finish it. Lisa Marie publicly discussed her addiction to opioids prior to her death in 2023. Lockwood allegedly claimed that Travolta and Preston orchestrated a deal in which Lisa Marie's then 20-year-old daughter, then 20 years old, Riley Keough, gave her eggs to Travolta so that Kelly could give birth to their son Ben, who was born in 2010. They didn't waste any time. This amended complaint is about revealing the truth, correcting the record, and providing evidence of the work that was done in good faith to bring peace, resolution, and stability to the Presley family. I don't understand all this unrest. I don't understand. Riley, if you shoot me an email at jackthefairguy@gmail.com, I will put you on. I will put you on via audio. I will put you on the air live. How would I know it was really her, though? That's the problem. See, I'm opening the door, but I'm a big fan of Riley Keough for all the wrong reasons. The wrong show, and would see her work certainly in the future. I think she's an excellent actress. I do. And I love When Doves Cry video. You did a great job on that Prince song, and the video's a lot of fun. So there you go. Like she cares. So would bring stability to the Presley family, being exposed to constant volatility. Krause and Fialco's lawyers, Jordan Matthews, said in a statement provided to Entertainment Weekly, Miss Krause and Mr. Fialco remain confident that the truth will prevail and trust that the courts will not favor one person over another simply because of one party's celebrity status. Okay, well, I guess that is enough of that live stream. So, can you guys figure out all this? I'm having a hard time. Welcome to the Tennessee Titan. Mr. Todd Bradshaw joins us here on this 18th of December. Great to hear Elaine. I'm doing okay. Thank you. He's talking to Elaine Peterson, who's thanking him. So, very, very good. Very, very good. I don't see comments when I'm on another, so I'm just catching up now. Jack, you read my mind. I was thinking the same thing about Riley singing When Doves Cry. Yeah, it's just a wonderful version that she did there. And I want to hear more. I want to hear more. I want to hear a full album from Riley Keough and more videos. Why not? Why not? Did such a fine job. If you're going to do a song that was a monster hit from somebody else, try to do it a little differently. And well, certainly having a female voice in there made it feel different. The video was incredible. Um, and I don't know if she did a different version of it per se, but we were ready to hear that song with a female, and she did it to a T, to a T. Check the fair guy at gmail.com. That's FAIR, like you're going to the carnival. FAIR, Jack the fair guy at gmail.com. It doesn't matter to me. It don't matter to me. Now you got me thinking of a bread song, Nancy DeMarco, but that's not the one I would choose for Riley to sing from Bread. I would choose maybe Make It With You or If a man could be two places at one time, I'd be with you forever and today, beside you all the way. You want to hear a wild version of that song? Look it up. Telly Savalas did that song. He talks it beautifully. He talks the song beautifully. Telly Savalas has a whole album, and I think he talks every song. I got to see Telly Savalas when I lived in LA. Let's see here. It doesn't matter to me. Yes, it's a absolutely wonderful thing to do for someone, right? What is the problem here? And unrest in the Presley home, and Priscilla is getting in on this. And what's that about? Um, Another heir to Elvis's estate, Calvin. I mean, Cajun Calvin. Hi, nice to have you here. Hi, Jack. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. We are on this Thursday. Some 70s music groups sound like a grocery list. Okay, that's a pretty good comment. I'll give you that one. Let me back up because I know I missed comments. Katina Swatsworth has joined us. I wonder what her take is. Were you here when I was talking about that if a woman wants to practice the old profession known to man, that's between her and God and not the government? You probably wouldn't agree. I don't know. I don't know. Why should I judge you as being that rigid? Uh, Katina Swatsworth, Team SWAT. I'm sorry, Chris. I'll apologize to your husband as well. Hey, Tim Spencer, are you out of the hospital? Jack, you are a fresh cup of coffee, but I don't like the Java. I don't like the Java. I tried Rise Mushroom Coffee because I was told that I would begin to look like Patrick, Neil Patrick Harris, and it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. I don't look good drinking it. Because I'm going, this stuff is awful. But no, it's probably good for you. It's good for you. So I still got half a bag if you want me to mail it to you. Let's see here. When you first wake up, yes, when I wake up at 11 a.m., that's no, I have to have my Tetley British blend tea or an Atkins strawberry or milk chocolate shake. I'm out of the hospital. Very good. About to run a what? About to run a marathon. Are you crazy? Go nuts? Are you crazy? Go nuts? Yesterday was my birthday. You don't have to tell us how old you are, Tim Spencer, but I would put off the marathon since you just got out of the hospital. It just doesn't seem practical to me. I wonder if the business partners were in Scientology. That's a good point. John and Priscilla and I think Lisa was too for a while. I think you're correct about that. I think you're correct absolutely at that. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that seems to be in the story. Um, Bayou Girl, Homer Overcash is saying hello to you. And Annette Turner, hello from the warm Gulf Coast. Just have to rub it in, huh? Warm. Well, we're going to be sort of okay tomorrow. Could hit the 50s or 50 degrees at least, but it's going to rain to ruin it. So it's winter in New York. What can I tell you? Right now, about 41 degrees. So I am not freezing in the studio tonight. Um, so there you go. There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody. Good to see Todd Bradshaw again from Tennessee. You don't get any more Americana than Tennessee. I could live there. I don't say that about many states. I could live in Maine. I could live in Tennessee. Pennsylvania is beautiful, but it's too cold. It's too close to New York temperatures. Maine, you only want the summer, in my humble opinion. Spring and summer in Maine, and then I want to get out of there by early October, I think. I could live in Florida, that's for sure, but again, not in the winter, not in the winter. Did I say the winter? I meant the summer. I meant the summer. You don't want to be there in August. My gosh. Where's Richard Lyon? He could tell us all about it, but he won't. Good to see you, Jack. Happy to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you. It won't be long now, as the Beatles sang, it won't be long, yeah, 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 it won't be long, yeah, 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 yeah. I love that song. Early Beatles, it's all great. It's all great. Um, so that's quite a complicated story there about Riley and her eggs. I don't know uh, what the outrageous part is, what the super controversy part that's got everybody offended and what have you. If Riley wants to make a definitive statement that she didn't do that, or John Travolta does, that's fine. But I'm assuming it could have well happened, and I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Kelly could not get pregnant, and I don't like the line about Lisa Marie, especially. But John Travolta probably didn't expect that would be publicized, what he said. So I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Um, so there you go. We got 50 and even 50 watching now and 12 likes. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell because in the next week, we're going to pop on. We're definitely going to pop on. I want to get into some different time slots and stuff. Which we've been remiss in doing. I was kind of in a funk, a little bit of a funk, and also a little bit of a give them a break kind of time. Don't if I say the other guy oversaturates and hurts everybody, including himself. Uh, I just love some of the things. Anyway, not here to talk about that. If I say that, well, I don't want to do it myself, and I don't also want to take something that's very old and put a devious title in there, like it just happened, like Elvis, or excuse me, pardon. I don't know why I said Elvis Presley. I don't know why Pastor Bob Joyce accidentally referred to himself as Elvis in a sermon, but that's old news. We covered that and we played the clip. We played the clip. Should have a list. I'm going to do that list. I'm not going to just keep saying I should do it. I'm going to do it. But we should have a list so I could look and I could see, that Pastor Bob and This is when we were at the church by the Salt Creek. I keep calling it a Salt Creek. I don't know why. By the creek. And he's doing in his sermon like, God is talking directly to him. And he means to say, so, Bob, you got to think about it this way. And instead, he says, Elvis, you got to think about it this way. That's not, that's just, that's like the living Bible. It's not an exact quote, but that's what went down. And then the Elvis protectors, some of which I understand live in the basement and are 522 pounds. Some of these Elvis protectors, self appointed, rushed in and said, "Oh, he didn't say Elvis. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Ignore the man behind the curtain." But doesn't he look like the guy that was selling that magic elixir back in Kansas? He looks just like him. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I don't know, Donna. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. I had a girl. Donna was her name. Since I've taken up with her, she has driven me completely insane. Oh, I'm just kidding, Donna. No, I love Donna's. I love Donna Douglas, Ellie Mae with all her critters. Remember Ellie with all her critters? Oh, yes, that was fun. And the cement pond. I watched the show when I was a kid for years, never once realized that the scenery, the beautiful, hills and what have you behind the cement pond was just a picture. I'm a little slow, but as an adult, I said, my goodness, that wasn't real. Julia, Joyce, where you been? I would love to come to America to visit Pastor Bob Joyce. She's an Aussie girl, aren't you? And go to Graceland, but maybe Mr. Trump won't let me in. Well, he'll let you in, and then he'll give you all expense paid trip back. Maybe even throw in $1,000. Yeah. No, no, no. We haven't stopped tourism here. We're on good terms with Australia. He's concerned about the government over there. Everybody is, I think, concerned about the government in the UK too, taking away people's rights. My goodness, you got to watch it. You elect them, and next thing you know, they want to be your Lord and Master. They want to be your Lord and Master. They're not there to serve you. They're there, especially today with well, I won't get into it. You know what I'm thinking. He said, "Where's Jesus, Elvis?" He said, "Where's Jesus, Elvis?" That was the exact quote, Kenneth? Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Now that it's been a while. So, why would he say that? I speak of possibilities, and I could be wrong about the whole thing, but I think at this point, 8 years in, I can say, I don't think I am. I don't think I am. So then how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? No sense building a sanctuary with 3, 4,000 seats if there's no further announcement. There'll be a lot of empty seats. It's not gonna work. They had empty seats at the new sanctuary when they went to 262. That's quickly changing, and by the summertime, we're gonna have a real problem. You don't want me to say this every week. You know I've talked about a prefab overflow room, if nothing else. But to build a big church, first of all, professional crew, or it'll be the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive. What was the follow up to that song? Nobody knows. It wasn't a hit. So somebody will look it up, though. Marianne Rossi, I think you are absolutely right, Jack. About what? You don't sound like either one of my ex-wives, Marianne. They never said that. They said, and I'm finally going to make them happy, Saturday at 3 p.m. My ex-wives both told me, I don't know why. I don't know why something like this would even come into their head. They told me, you should get your head examined. So Saturday at 3, I'm having a CAT scan of my brain. Now, they also said that if I ever did something like that, I'm right on the edge, Katina, sorry, that they might find that my brain is not here, but it's in another extremity. It's in another extremity. So I'm having that, having a thyroid thing done before it. Jupiter's realm. And what else are they going to do to me? Something else. It's all in the radiology wing of Middletown Medical on a Saturday. And then I have to have blood work before I see Dr. Kapai in the middle of January, and that'll be blood work for a dementia test. Why not know if it's in the cards in the future? Why not know? But so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. As long as those cats don't claw you when they are scanning you. Well, Nicholas Blair scratched Karen, gave her a nice. Now, Nicholas Blair is the friendliest of the cats. He has the least anxiety. Ever since I started giving him a little Xanax, that's a joke. That's a joke. Nicholas Blair, character from Dark Shadows. Nicholas Blair, played wonderfully by Humbert Allen Astrado. He was, he was the bad guy. He was the bad guy. Then he was Evan Hanley. He was bad too. He always played a bad guy. Uh, Nicholas lets Karen pet him when he's eating, but she picked him up and he scratched her. He did. Yeah, she got scratched by a cat. It's not the first time. It's happened with Willie Lewis, our own cat. That's why we have to constantly take Willie to get his nails cut down the road there. They're not too bad, Nancy DeMarco. Oh dear. So I will get my head examined and I'll tell you all about it too. I mean, heck, if I start to go crazy on the channel here, that's some good TV right there. That could be some good TV right there. So Helen from Australia is talking to Jackie, and don't forget to talk to your other Aussie there. She's here too. Where'd she go? We have at least 3 Aussies watching right now. A checkup from the neck up. That's right. That's an Imus in the morning line, right? I think that's where I first heard that, a checkup from the neck up. I've been watching a little bit of the old Imus videos with Charles McCord and what have you, and breakup of Charles and Imus at some point. It was very late in the game, but Charles McCord said, "You promised me when we went to Fox Business Channel." I think this was the thing because it would mean more money for Imus. And it's got to mean more money for Charles. He writes the bits, for goodness sakes. But by then, Imus was doing more political commentary than he was bits. And I don't know if he meant out of his own pocket or what. He promised Charles $1 million. And if anyone was ever worth $1 million, it was Charles McCord. He was great. Not only was he a very competent, great newsman, he was a comedic genius who wrote some of Imus's best stuff. So whatever happened, they had a nice send off and everything, and but there were tense moments in the later years between the two of them. So yeah, Don Imus. What's some other good stuff? He had some great characters. He had Uncle Bob reading the stories to the kids. I won't say any more about it. Oh, and the Reverend Billy Soul Harkis, the Reverend Patton, somewhat after Billy Graham, the Reverend Billy Soul Hargis from the Discount House of Worship in Del Rio, Texas. I did not buy this $3,000 suit. It falleth from out of the sky. It falleth from out of the sky. Classic bits. Did I see Joe Worrell here somewhere? And here's Jay Pogara. Yes. Jack, hope you do fine with your test. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've always heard that drugs that can hold back dementia are very, very harsh drugs. And, uh, I think I'm fine. And I was talking to my psych guy who gives me my Xanax. Once you go on Xanax, it's very hard to get over it. Um, but he was saying, do a lot of reading, keep your brain very active. I'm reading a book right now, and I read the Bible, and do a lot of reading. That's very good, for your brain power. I'm a comedy. Uh, Records were so good. Well, he was very blue in those, right? Yeah. He was very blue when I saw him twice, Kenneth Winters. I saw him at the Chance. I know you know the Chances. I guess it's open again, right? The Chance. It's funny. I went to the Chance twice in my life, and both times it was to see a comedian or a comedian in one case, as they used to say. Imus in the Morning at the Chance and Sarah Bernhardt, and both were hilarious, but Sarah was funnier because Imus was his best when he couldn't use those words. And then I actually saw him at a very nice bar in New Paltz a second time. I saw him there. It was packed to the rafters, but I saw him twice. And that was pretty cool. And the guy right downstairs, who I think went to bed, so I better talk low because I didn't close the vent, was in the Imus in the Morning band that they would use for telethons in the later years. Little Sammy Davis, not to be confused with the legendary singer Sammy Davis. Well, this guy was great too. He was great in the blues field. Little Sammy Davis with his harmonica and singing the blues. And Fred Scribner, lead guitarist in the band. Brad downstairs, the drummer. And I don't know if they used my friend Doug or not. Can't really remember. But and anytime they had a telethon for the kids to raise money for the Imus Ranch or whatever, Ranch for Children with Cancer, they would be on MSNBC. That's what they were on then before they turned totally wackadoodie. And so I would get to see them on TV. Yeah. Your glasses are very becoming. You look nice tonight. Well, thank you. And I think you're new. CM Trucker, the at CM Trucker. That's your handle there, at CM Trucker. Usually I wear them when I have a more orangey background, but tonight I just decided to wear them. It goes with the pumpkins, a couple of pumpkins back there. I love that truck. I don't like the term happy holidays, but I love the truck covered in ice, the old truck. And so these are just simply bags, Christmas bags from ShopRite. Christmas bags. Heard many comedy records, Flip Wilson, Bill Cosby, George Carlin. I always preferred to see Carlin video because he's the facial expressions, what he does with himself on stage. He was a genius. It doesn't mean I agree with everything he said or did. I don't. But he died in a Catholic hospital in Santa Monica. What do you think about that? I enjoy a good comedian. We can all use some good humor. Yeah. Good humor. Well, now you got me thinking about the strawberry, what do they call it? Shortcake, right? Strawberry shortcake bar and the fudge bar. Yeah, good humor. There's better stuff than that, but it's not bad. CM Trucker says, I'm not new, just never interacted with before. Well, welcome to interacting to Worldwide Ramblings here on this Thursday. Sometimes we do Thursday evening. Um, Didn't get to watch any Dark Shadows. There you are, Joe Worrell. Oh, Lord, the Wild Man Jack Show. 3 million subs. Oh, I can't eat that many subs. I can't eat that many. But we do have some great sub shops. If you come to town, Joe Worrell, you shoot me an email and I'll show you some great New York subs, some great New York pizza. Then we'll go up to Flaming Grill in Newburgh for the best Chinese buffet you will ever find. Lizard Lounge Radio, good to see you. Hello, Lizard Lounge Radio. How did you come up with that name, Lizard Lounge Radio? It's kind of an interesting name. You remember Imus in the Morning. Yeah, he was on TV all over the country for many years in the later part of his career. And of course, he was someone portrayed him in the movie Private Parts, the Howard Stern story. That was so funny that people that didn't like Howard Stern loved the movie Private Parts. They love the movie Private Parts. I'm one of them. That's the first time we ever saw, at least for me, Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti was fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. A lot of people talking about it. So, yeah, thank you for remembering that, Ken Winters. That's what he said. So, that's just not the mistake you would make, right? Well, you could say, "Oh, he's always thinking about Elvis because people are always saying he's Elvis." You could say that, I suppose. That would be one way. Um, we've met both Bill Cosby, Sinbad. Oh, I used to like him, and Sebastian Maniscalco. The hottest comedian on the planet still. Um, I don't know how you. I mean, he's funny, but 4 or 5 nights sellout at Madison Square Garden when he used to play these small little dives, that's an amazing feat. That's an amazing feat, and, you gotta worry about people recording you. It's really I totally understand when they are very serious and firm about you not taking out your cell phone for a comedian set because they are going to do this same show down the road and they don't want you putting it here on YouTube. They don't. When it's, old material, fine, but they don't want it when it's their new set. Hmm. I love ribeye steak, says Elaine Peterson. Yeah, my favorite is sirloin, though. If I go to the Texas Roadhouse, which is only like a couple of times a week, um, I always get the sirloin. And, you got to have a few extra rolls. But now, being on Ozempic, I just took the shot tonight. Um, the full, I was on the point 0.5, now the 1 gram. You can only eat so much. So you're taking a lot home and you have a meal for a second day. I finally went to see Carmen at the diner yesterday, and the food's getting better there, Ken Winters. The food's getting better. Had the hot turkey dinner, and it was good. It was special price and had a nice salad, but I could only eat some of the salad because I wanted to save an appetite for the actual dinner. And so I made sure I only put my dressing on a little part of the salad, see, because I'm going to take this home and maybe Karen's going to want the salad. I'll eat it if she doesn't, but she definitely wanted it. So she got it. And the turkey with the extra cranberry sauce, the stuffing was better than it's been lately. The gravy was good. The mashed potatoes and the vegetables were good. People started talking to them. You can't be just stir frying peppers and onions and whatever and call that your vegetable. People don't want that. They don't want that. So they're getting better. So Elaine is feeling better. Thank you, Donna. What was your main situation, Elaine? I'm trying to remember. Try to remember. Kind of. So he was eating too much ribeye steak, I think. That's what it might have been. Excuse me. Um, so I just threw all that information on Riley Keough and the situation with did she or didn't she give her eggs to John and Kelly Travolta, Kelly Preston, who's now passed away. It's so sad. Um, if she did, it's her right to do it. It's her body, and if she sold them, I don't judge her for that either. Speaking of taking medication, I've got to take the expensive stuff, the Camzyos. I have no idea if I'll get this in January or how long I'll have to wait. Will there be a gap? I don't know. Ah, $9,300 a bottle if I were paying for it. This one I got free. Thank you, Bristol Myers Squibb. Thank you, Bristol Myers Squibb. It's a great product, Camzyos, if you have cardiomyopathy. That's all it's for. HCM, because I know there's kind of different versions of cardiomyopathy. HCM. Hypotropic cardiomyopathy, I guess. I don't know. I'd love to see Leanne Morgan. Who's that? Robin Roman. Oh, arthritis. Well, we all do have that at a certain age, you know. Karen goes to the YMCA to do swimming now. She's back to doing that, and it's really helping the arthritis in her lower back. Because this is one case where we didn't want to go to the doctor and say, take it out. I told you that story with Dr. Kynan, who's a wonderful surgeon down at Westchester Medical Center. He says, I could go in there and I could scrape it out, and I'd have to do some fusion and what have you, but you wouldn't be happy with me after that. You'd be miserable for months. So see if you can get into the exercise routine and work it out that way. And it really does help. The right kind of exercises for that part of your body, you know, where you're hurting. You got to trust Jesus. Then we got to get off our arse. You know, Jesus isn't going to do it for us. You know. But I know how you feel, Elaine Peterson. I know you did have your knee replaced though, or something like that, and that was smart to do. Losing weight certainly helps. It helps with diabetes. It helps with blood pressure. It helps with a lot of things. So, but don't starve yourself to death now. You treat yourself this Christmas time. You do that, Elaine Peterson. I love ribeye steak too, Elaine. I hope you are feeling better. Yeah. Just steer, I like how he says that, clear of the doctor from Cannibal Run. Cannonball Run, the Burt Reynolds film. I don't remember who played the doctor. Who played the doctor? I saw all three of the Smokey movies, Smokey and the Bandit, but I saw only some, I think, of Cannonball Run. I didn't find it to be a great Burt Reynolds film, and he did some great films, Burt Reynolds. Yes, he did. You got a purty face. You got a purty face, says the hillbilly. I'm going to enjoy my meal at Christmas. Well, gosh darn, you have a right to do just that. Just that. Let's see if I can get to. Did I do that already? Yeah. All right. So, thank you, Jupiter's Realm. $25 for Merry Christmas. I appreciate that very much, and I hope you get better real soon. Feel free to update me both in the comments section of the replay video and email jackthefairguy@gmail.com. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, as you do every week. Also hitting the Cash App with a love tip. A love tip. It's a virtual tip jar. That's all it is. If you have Cash App, my handle is MediaGuy56, lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY56, MediaGuy56. All right. What else is going on in the email? We're hearing from various people like Michelle and Julia. And I won't say that one. And Mark, little clip of White Christmas. Bob Joyce Music has released some. What is he released? He's well, it's not a he. It's Levon. Management for WLC Laverne. It's not Laverne, it's Levon. It's right there on the CD itself. So yeah, they give you a teaser if you join Bob Joyce Music. .com, bobjoycemusic.com, and subscribe for $9.99 a month. She has been posting, or somebody in her organization has been posting little teasers of what you can see. And right now it's the Bob Joyce little mini concert that he did on a professional sound stage. There's songs with him standing with just the mic, which is the way I think it should be. All the attention is on the vocal performance. There are plenty of guitarists, there are plenty of piano players. Elvis wasn't known for either one, so why should Bob Joyce, who's a totally different man, that was close, be, you know, uh, be known not for the thing that's the best thing he has, which is his very incredible voice. So you see songs with him singing straight to mic, like White Christmas. So they got a little bit of that up there. Um, so thank you, Todd Bradshaw, sending $30 for kitty treats. Oh, Todd, you should see them. They're coming here. Um, we had bought a spiral ham, and on the it was kind of it's not completely free when you don't get the regular ham. If you go spiral, it's like 99 cents a pound, but just, it would have been 40 bucks and we got it for 11 bucks. So, eventually you've had enough ham. And so we gave some to the raccoons. They loved it, Todd. They loved it. And Josette Dupre, one of the feral cats, she's the dark-haired, beautiful cat. She had some ham. She wanted eggs with it, though. I said, that's a bridge too far. I mean, what are you going to want? Toast, sweet toast, too? And their mom, Suki Forbes, and her sister, Millicent, all from Dark Shadows, Millicent Collins. And then, of course, we have Quentin Collins. He also is starting to let Karen pet her. And he's such a cutie, they all are. He just has this cutest little, plea for food, and he eats in two various places. And then we noticed the other one, Nicholas Forbes, started going into Roger Collins' house. We don't know where Roger is. He just left. Every night there's a heating. It's a round thing. You put it in the microwave and you heat it up about for about 5 minutes. Then you put it back in the cover and you put it in the little house, and they can lay on there and they're going to be warm for hours. So she saw Nicholas was starting to go in there. So while he was eating, she heated up the pad and put it in there. She probably did it tonight. And Nicholas Blair could well be in there tonight on the porch, but they also have other place, the guys next door put in these little huts with straw and stuff and what have you. So, we're doing the best we can. I can't tell you how many times, Todd, we've opened up the door and said, come on in. A few times they have, but then they run right back out before that door shuts, before that door shuts. So you just don't want to see them. You just don't want to see them out there when it gets into the single digits and stuff. It just tears me apart. Same thing for the deer. They go into a barn that's not too far from here. So they're not going anywhere. They live here and they live, right over on the other side of the fence too. And they get fed high quality stuff. But it's one of those things where it may be expensive cat food that those guys buy from Chewy, but it's got vegetables in it and stuff. And that's not really what they want. That's my theory. So they get both worlds. They get the best of both worlds, those cats. So thank you very much, Todd. I really appreciate that. Let's see what Neo sent me here. Cannonball Run Doctor. Oh, I recognize that face. He was a pretty famous character actor back in the day. Back in the day. Reminds me a little bit of only people in New York would know this name, Jimmy Breslin, who wrote for the newspaper and then got a job because he had such an expressive face like this guy. He got a job on WNBC TV, so he would do both. He would do commentary on the local news with Chuck Scarborough and what have you. Okay, so. Thank you, Neil. Let me go back. So thank you, Todd, Jupiter's Realm and Elaine, all for hitting the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Mediaguy 56, Media Guy 56, as we try to make our December uh, minimal budget that helps me out and helps me, simply make both ends meet. Both ends meet. Now, back to the live stream. Where the heck is it? Lost the live stream. There it is. It's up top. It jumped up top. Okay. Jimmy Breslin, famous in New York. Yes, Nancy DeMarco. You knew who he was, right? He was a lot of fun. This guy reminded me of him a little bit. I don't know when I hold up some live how it's going to go. He reminded me of Jimmy Breslin. That's the actor who played what? The mayor in Cannonball Run? Yeah, I've seen that face before. And Jimmy Breslin had kind of the same eyebrows. It's like a darker version of the Andy Rooney eyebrows. Thank you, Neocon. Anybody see what the heck is his last name? George Santos was on Gutfeld last night. George Santos was on Gutfeld. Sprung after like 3 months in prison by President Trump. I think they railroaded George Santos. It came down to there wasn't that much money involved, and some of it was used for suits and what have you for the campaign that he was running. So the crimes were not grievous, and he was being treated horribly in there. And Trump got him out, commuted his sentence. He's still a convicted felon. Oh my, bad storms rolling in here, really. I tell you all this much. I'm over all this wicked weather in 2025. So isn't that funny? Florida got spared this year. No hurricanes, in Florida, and other areas that everything just washed out to sea. It was zero hurricanes, right? That's what I heard. But then we come to Tennessee and what? Tornadoes and flooding and all that, Todd? Is that what you're saying? Hmm. Wow. You wouldn't associate. I wouldn't associate, but I don't live there, so what do I know? Um, I wouldn't associate Tennessee with being an extreme weather place like Buffalo, New York, or Wisconsin, or something like that. There are other better examples than Wisconsin. Um, Louisiana. Sorry, Louisiana. Anybody from Louisiana on here tonight? We definitely have Louisiana people. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Well, here's Gloria Drummond. Jesus is the answer channel. I got that right. Yeah, the weather is wicked in Illinois for sure. That's not the only thing wicked in Illinois. Oh my goodness. How do you find a mayor that's actually worse than Lightfoot? They did. They did. They found one worse. And to me, the governor, you are violating the oath that you took to protect your people. You are standing in opposition to the federal government, obstructing government. What am I trying to say? Government procedure, for lack of the right word. And I think you're right there, buddy. I think you're right there. You're right there. Aiding and abetting people. Now I understand if they've been here for years. I understand. I don't want them putting zip ties on kids. I don't. I understand all that. But they have gotten rid of a lot of bad hombres in this sweep. But yeah, leave the guy who's been out doing the jobs that Todd and Muffy certainly don't want to do. It's funny that you have that kind of name, Todd, because that's the names that they always said Todd and Muffy. Like these would be the rich kids from Beverly Hills. But all the Z generation kids don't want to do. Um, they don't want to be out there certainly picking onions in the Pine Island onion fields. Pine Island is the onion capital of the East Coast, and the idea that you're going to be chasing workers around the field, they should have good lives when they're here, work permits and everything, health insurance, and I'm not for turning anybody away at a hospital, green card or no green card. Everyone needs to be fully treated, I believe. That is the one of the things that the Republican Party doesn't seem to understand. Oh, we'll make it so they can buy their own insurance. They'll come up with more co-payments and more things that they reject. You'll be forever trying to get an MRI if you should need one. Lane doesn't need one, but everybody else seems to need one sometimes. So, um, it shouldn't be something where you have to choose whether you can eat or pay for your medical needs. Let's see here. Wicked wind in Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. Lots of people without power. Yikes. Wow. Yeah, because you're up so high, that makes it windy more frequently, right? I mean, I guess I'm on my way of being a meteorologist now. Huh. Amazing how time flies in this program. Just flies. Helen McDonald's summer here in Australia. Yesterday it was 42 degrees Celsius, which is what? 107 degrees. See, that's too hot where I live. Way too hot. I agree with you. Met Brad Williams. Brad Williams, not Brian Williams, at the mini bar. I didn't know what to say, so I made small talk. I asked too many questions and he got short with me. Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to know where the line is. I've told the story before that when I lived in Hollywood, probably when I was doing security and I did the extra work at that time on a couple of movies, I saw Dick Van Dyke sitting at this bodega right next to the very restaurant he was doing Music Man in. And he had two hot dogs with mustard and relish. And he was really enjoying his hot dog. And I just said, I'm not going to bother him. He doesn't need my hello or whatever. Just going to let him alone. And, other people, are just was so nice. Robin Williams was known for that. He would take the time. And when he would do a movie, everyone that wanted a minute with Williams would eventually get it. You could be the gaffer, you could be just a guy who moves scenery around, and he would make you feel like this was your time. You talk, let's talk, let's talk. Speaking about that, my son and I were talking about this. Poor Bill Hader. Poor Bill Hader. Um, how he must feel at the Conan O'Brien party Saturday night. Um, Nick Reiner approached him, and he was being, he was off his meds, and he was being weird with everyone, going up to people and saying, "Are you famous? Are you famous?" and stuff like that. And Rob was pulling him aside, and it was definitely could hear them arguing from time to time. But he goes up to Bill Hader, and Bill Hader looks at him and says, "This is a private conversation. This is a private conversation." And I'm sure he has gone over 1,000 times his mind. What if I didn't do that? What if I put my arm and said, "Well, what do you think about this?" or whatever, and given him a little time and not made him feel like he was just, not wanted, not part of the club, so to speak. What if I had been nicer to him? Maybe he wouldn't have gone to the house that night and brutally killed his parents. I'm sure he's thinking that. Bill Hader is a wonderfully nice guy from everything I've heard. From everything I've heard. Getting closer to his return. Um, we're certainly in the last days. We're certainly in the last days, but I have no idea how far in. At some point, the pre-trib people are going to have to say, "I guess I was wrong." Maybe it's mid-trib. Maybe it's we go through the whole tribulation, but I think we're in the pre-trib. I think we're in the pre-trib. Seems like it to me, but that's just me. I'm not God. I don't know for sure. The book of Revelation talks about if the weather, uh, if this weather, look up and be ready for Jesus's return. Well, there's a whole lot of things, yeah, and it all depends if we're going to be around when they open the seven seals. I mean, when they start to open up those seven seals, it's ain't nothing. It's ain't nothing. The, Stephen King never came close to that kind of horror. I mean, no, no, you don't want to be around for when they open up the seven seals. That's for sure. Kidding, that's for sure. So I don't think too much about the time. I just think about that I need to do a lot better, and that means that I need to tap into the power of the Holy Spirit, and make myself available. Because in my own strength, I can't do it. I can't do it. I know that. I know that. Neo is saying names I do not know. Oh, sometimes I miss stuff. So let me go back. Hi, lovely Rita, Rita mate. What part of Colorado has the power out? She wants to know. Um, I met the late Danny Aiello, Ken, down at the Nyack Mall. This is when my kids were little and we were in this place, we'll get, designed for children, for parents or grandchildren, in the case of Mr. Aiello, to bring them and so they can have fun. He comes in, he's wearing all black. It's the summertime. He's wearing black pants, black shirt, black shoes, and he's wearing sunglasses. All he looks like is Danny Aiello wearing sunglasses. So he just sits down, and you can tell by the expression on his face that he did not want to engage, that he just wanted to be left alone and what have you. But so at some point, I was passing and I wasn't going to stop. And because I didn't think he would want me to, I would have if there was any indication he'd want me to stop. But I just said, "Hi, Mr. Aiello. Nice to see you." And he said, "Hi, hi," like he's in the Secret Service. "Hi, hi." That's all. That's all he would say. He became a star in his 40s, lived in Ramapo, I want to say, Ramapo, New Jersey, right next to not far from Motel on the Mountain. Do you remember that, Ken Winters? Motel. I was never there. Karen was. I was never there. Prayers for the folks without power, says Gloria. Yeah. I watched your video. So true. I absolutely loved it. You mean the latest one? Please do watch it if you haven't. Like to get a few thousand views on that. That helps me too. If I don't get those few thousand views, it puts me in more desperate straits. If I can get a hot video, hot for me is 10,000, 15,000. The wild new Bob Joyce video is going towards 71,000 now. Thank you, Greg, for showing up at Robert Wayne Joyce's door. I said Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina Hattie in 1975 in Texas. Yeah, won't go into that whole thing. It would be good if we could meet halfway with the weather. Halfway with the weather. So there you go. Everybody slowed down in their comments a little bit. 51 watching. So did you put an L on your name that didn't used to be there, Rita? It's good to have you aboard. Strength can be recovered. That's true. Karen is doing it right now. I do a lot of stair walking, up and down, but I got to do more of the balance is very important. You don't want to lose your balance. You want to work on those leg lifting and sit by a comfortable chair that if you do fall, you're going to fall back into a comfortable chair, up and down, up and down. Spread your legs when you do it, up and down, Spread your legs like like Bridget McCrone. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert, but we haven't done a bloody thing all day. So sorry, Uncle Albert. But the kettle's on the boil, and we're so easy called away. Oh, yes. Now, that's Candace Owens, one of her topics, the Bridget McCrone thing that's made her so successful. The other thing, of course, was Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk. Well, she met with her, as you probably know, for about 4 hours, and I haven't seen the video because I got so turned off to Candace Owens, who used to be one of my heroes. So I got so turned off to what she was doing, and of course, it made her the number between Bridget McCrone being a man, supposedly. By the way, Megan Kelly thinks the same thing. I don't care, though. I don't care if Bridget McCrone is a man. Again, that's between them. That's between the prime minister. Is he still prime minister? That's between them and God. That's between them and God. Uh, I really don't have an opinion. And it's the same thing with Michelle Obama. I have my guesses, but I don't, I don't want to do videos on it. But it's worked well for Candace, but nothing has worked as well as what she's been doing with Turning Point for the last few months that made her the number one podcaster in the world. Joe Rogan still holds the title for America, but she's got more beyond America. And, she's making, I don't know if you know us guys, I've never tasted this kind of success on YouTube. But when you're making 5, 6 million views, now you're starting to make thousands of dollars per video from YouTube. You're starting to make thousands of dollars because you get paid per 1,000 views. Say. So, wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? Maybe I could even go to England, where my mom was raised. I want to give money to my daughter. Maybe she would speak to me then. I want to give money to my grandchildren. The scripture says a good man, and that's good only through Jesus Christ, of course. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So, all these things on my mind. So, but I've got one topic and people like the live shows. So I've got to find another magic topic, and it's got to be something as powerful as Pastor Bob Joyce. And it can't be something that requires, like Steven Spielberg text presentation, because if I have a talent, it's to be the storyteller kind of thing. But I understand good tech is important too. I get it. Tai Chi helped with the recovery. Sounds like it'd be very good, Neo. Very, very good. No, Gene Ho is not Bruce Lee. He's not that old, and he's better looking. Better looking. That's funny. Teresa Panel says, power finally back on. And as she's saying that, my stream crashes. But it's weird now. I can get it right back fast. YouTube did something very good, YouTube, that it isn't catastrophic. So we were spinning round, but spinning wheels got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying shame. I get it. I get it. So we shouldn't be spinning anymore. And I'm glad your power is back on. Teresa Panel from Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi. I think that's rather clear knowledge. Jack Egg's lawsuit. Well, we did it already, and it's complicated. And I read it backwards this time because I have a video. Let's go to the virtual church. The first video you want to watch, Jody Smith, is Riley Keough, Travolta, Elvis, Pastor Bob Link, ? And oh yeah, somebody did say, "Well, why did you put Pastor Bob Link in there?" um, it is the magic words, but as I say, I've been doing the topic now for 8 years. Dozens and dozens of coincidences, including him uh, sort of referring to himself as Elvis in a sermon, which Ken Winters gave the exact quote here in the stream. Um, I believe I speak of possibilities. I could still be wrong about the whole thing, but in my mind, I've made up my mind. So I put that in there obviously because I know it's an attention getter. I was proud of the content. It's only a 8 minute, almost 9 minute video, and it's part one of the story because there's an update that we do here. But um, what they're saying is that Riley Keough sold her eggs to John Travolta and his now late wife, Kelly Preston, and that Ben Travolta is really the biological child of Riley Keough. Uh, but they had tried before with Lisa Marie's eggs and it didn't work. So it's a two-part story. Part one is there, and I did it backwards in the beginning of this stream. So watch that. It's just too long and too crazy. And we ended up saying, what's all the controversy? If Riley Keough wants to do that and do it for money and get a Jaguar to boot as a little present, it's her body. There's not another body growing inside of her that she's eliminating. It's her body. And if she wants to do that, and they were interested, the Presley gene and all that, that's her business. That's her business. It's not Priscilla's business. I don't fault Riley if she did that. And if this is all not true, whatever. Either way, I'm a Riley Keough fan. Either way, I'm a Riley Keough fan. I thought Lisa Marie was very talented. I remember watching her on the Today Show. She starts singing in the rain. This is when Matt Lauer was still there, and she falls on stage, but she just picked herself up, never missed a beat, and kept going. I said, she's a trooper. I know Lisa Marie was not happy with her recording career. She wasn't happy that it wasn't more successful, and she wasn't necessarily happy that it was the best that she could have done. You need great writers. You always need great writers. Where would Elvis have been without great songs being given to him? So that's what that's all about. It's just too long to go through, but please watch that video that I did because you were working probably. Riley Keough, Travolta, Elvis, Pastor Bob Link, question mark. It's got about 344 views. We released at around, I don't know, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So check that out and check the beginning of this video. Hello, replay crowd. We don't take too long to get into it. So, but I try to do content early, Jody, because there are people that tune in just for that and don't want my constant yabbering. They're tuning in for that and they get mad. So sometimes I put a marker down when the content is. But if I talk for 20, 25 minutes before I do any content, that's not the right way to do it. That's not the right way to do it. So welcome back, Jody. Check that out. And I think you'll find it interesting. From two sources, um, uh, Yahoo Entertainment and Us Magazine. Us Magazine. Lawsuits going on and everything, and I don't understand why. You're getting an ad right now, Gloria. See, I never know. This story blew me away, especially how deep Travolta was into Scientology. Oh, I knew that. I knew that. But it's different. It's celebrity Scientology, just like Tom Cruise. They're treated a whole different way than the average Joe Smo. You're not going to be at the airport handing out literature or whatever. I don't think you can do that anymore, but you know what I mean? You're going to be treated a whole different way because they want you to speak well of them. So Tom Cruise says, "Oh, so I've been involved in it for 35 years and it's made a big difference in my life." Well, I'll tell you when it won't make a big difference is when you're breathing your last breath, Tom Cruise, because if you don't know Jesus, you're going to be in trouble. Um, and no one comes to the Father but through Jesus Christ, through the wooing of the Holy Spirit, in my opinion. Jack Levon, LWC Media, Pastor Bob's Management, yes, is originally from Memphis. Yes, now based in Franklin, Tennessee. Now based in Franklin, Tennessee. That's correct. Gloria, I heard a choo choo train in your video today. Do you have a choo choo in your video today? Elaine Peterson's doing? Oh, Gloria, yeah. It's I got it. Maybe I do need that test, huh? On Sunday, Elaine is saying, Gloria, that she heard a train in her video. It's funny. Every once in a while, you can even hear one here. If you're outside, won't hear it in here. This mic won't pick it up, and it's way down the road. Way down the road. Yes, for sure. Oh, I love that. I love it living near trains. I love trains. What can I tell you? Rita says about a year ago, Travolta was at the gas station a block away from me and the restaurant down here in LaSalle, Illinois. My daughter in law about had a heart attack. I see. Yeah. Well, he's had a big career, that's for sure. You're right by the tracks. That's nothing wrong with that. That's right, Jack. Jesus is the only way to the Father. That's true. I bought a train set a couple of years ago. I love trains. Well, funny you should say that, Elaine. If you watch my earliest videos done in this room, when this was really Andy's room, and I was using his computer and his I don't want to say crappy mic, but it was. You will see behind me Andy's train set, and you'll see me looking chubbier than I look now, and younger, and more hair in the front. And starts like in 2016, when we first started the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. So we're about at our 10-year anniversary, and we're about at 8 years for doing the Bob Joyce topic. 8 years for doing the Bob Joyce topic. So Andy loves trains, and he's always talking about getting his trains out of the storage shed and putting them up again. But there's just no space. There's just no space. That's the problem there. And Andy worked. I shouldn't tell much about his personal life, but he did work for a railroad company. He did work for a railroad company at one time. Jack, how can she not know? Pastor Bob doesn't have. I'm trying to read this cold. Let me see here. Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know? It's like saying, "Oh, never mind about his feelings." I'm not quite. I'm not quite getting what you're saying. Could you put it a different way, Jody? And the fact that we know he's still alive. Um, I believe everybody in the Elvis Presley circle knows very well that he's still alive and that they are doing what Elvis Presley requested long ago, which is not to tell the story, not to tell the story. Any truth to the rumor about people who faked their death for safety reasons will be pardoned? You mean from President Trump before he leaves office? And I do believe he's going to leave office, by the way. Um, I I don't think Elvis would need a pardon. I think it was all set up. I think, some would say it wasn't the government, it was some other organization. But I think that Elvis was a federal agent. You might say it was just honorary from President Nixon, etc. He had credentials with the Memphis Police. Nobody gonna give Elvis a hard time. Nobody's gonna get. Should he still be alive, no one's gonna give Elvis a hard time. And if he wanted to become Elvis again, um, not living like Elvis lived and doing what Elvis did, but say preaching the gospel and singing, Elvis Presley Enterprises would be more than happy to accommodate his request to use that name again. Come on now. It's worth $1 bazillion. Um, Look for a Greenberg show. They have model trains. Yeah, I bet you Andy knows that name. He probably knows that name. Nancy, thank you. I read an article about Jet. Jet? Joan Jett? Yeah, we'll see, Gloria. Who knows, right? Who knows? It seems like God is calling. He said this. He said this in the Gene Ho interview at the church. He said that the Holy Spirit, has new things in store for him. I'm just paraphrasing the way he said it. And that, whatever the Holy Spirit wants, he will stand up to the mission. And as he said far more recently, he can't slack. He's got a, Bob Joyce said this, he's got a TCB. He's got to take care of business. He's taking care of business. What an odd uh, saying for him to adapt. Bob Joyce is taking care of business. And so that's the catch 22. If you don't make a big announcement, then you won't fill thousands more seats or a couple of thousand more seats. You won't. So you need to. But at the same point, the seats you have now are going to very quickly be totally inadequate. So this, I'm still saying nobody has ever answered me about this, but I still think they could end up temporarily in the Bank OZK Arena or so other arena in Hot Springs while they build the new sanctuary. Should all heaven break loose? See what I did there? Should all heaven break loose? Yes. So it's a nice problem to have. It's a nice problem to have. But I don't think you fill 4,000 seats. You don't go from filling, say, 262 seats or maybe a little bit more than that with an overflow room that's got to be built if you're staying there. You don't go from that to 4,000 seats. You don't. And the location is tough to get to. It's far from Little Rock. It's not terribly far, but it's far. And all those expenses add up. Some of these people, is it Elvis stories, putting in these videos about Bob being Elvis and stuff, and they get so many names wrong and facts wrong. They show a picture of Bob that's not even Bob. And it's, oh boy, what are they doing? Jack, I keep thinking come spring and summertime, when the nice weather starts hitting, Pastor Bob is going to have a hard time having enough seats at the new church. Exactly, and they can't wait. They should be thinking about it now, but of course it's hard to. Now, prefab, I don't know. It's not that hard to get a adjacent prefab put together. You can almost like roll it in pieces on a truck, right? Like you do a modular home, like you do a mobile double wide or something. You roll it in on pieces. You see it on the highway, wide load. So you could do it, and you need to do it. You need to do it. There's no sense waiting till, oh my goodness, there's people out there from Britain. There's people out there from Spain, and we don't have a seat for them. It's not a future problem. It's a problem right now. I would start Monday. Well, all right, the holidays are here. Start January 2nd. I just know they treasure my advice. I'm telling the truth. And Gene Ho said they know that they have solved no problems with that barn building. No problems. Just it's nice that everybody can worship in the same room. But now, and there's fire laws. You can't just keep throwing in seats in every corner. There's a limit, and then you're not safe anymore. And you need a nice fellowship hall for your lunch, for those luncheons, where Pastor Bob can enjoy in a nice spacious room his Dr. Pepper. His Dr. Pepper. Yeah, you can do it. It's not that hard. Um, so let me see something here. How can I say something without saying it? I think I know. Where's my email? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. I'm just looking for something. Yeah, okay. Um, okay. Well, what we heard recently from LWC Media, Pastor Bob's professional management, and we know most pastors don't have professional management. I'm not saying John Hagee doesn't. I'm not saying that Joe Osteen doesn't, but most pastors don't. Let's see here. What am I trying to find? We've said a few things here. The future plans. Why they need to have a paid $9.99 a month at bobjoycemusic.com. Why they need that paid part of the site. And one of the things is that they want to build this new, they call it a chapel, a new chapel. I was told that it would be a minimum of 1,500 seats and could go as high as 3,000 or more, from another source. So the inference is that they don't have the money to do it now. I don't know what to do with that comment. Obviously, obviously, people were very generous when they come to Household of Faith, and they do put a considerable amount of money in the box that you are alerted that's there. They don't take a formal offering. Pastor Bob does not take a dime for as pastor's salary, which he's entitled to take. He does not take a dime for the CD sales, which he's entitled to take. He did not take a cut from Coleman, Alabama, which he's entitled to take. So, how's he living? People would say Social Security and pension, and that he used to be a professional union carpenter. I've heard that one. He is a carpenter too. You saw him rolling up his sleeves. Every church, at least from the strip mall to the Salt Church by the creek, not the Salt Creek, and now the barn, he's been actively involved using carpentry skills because his boss was a Jewish carpenter. His boss was a Jewish carpenter for a spell. His name is Jesus, son of Jesus from Nazareth, son of the Father. Jesus was a carpenter. So, I'm just of the opinion that obviously any management firm needs to be paid to stay in business. They need to make things happen that are going to cost money. It's going to cost money to do these videos, the CDs and what have you. But I also think that Pastor Bob has his own resources. That's enough of that. So, All right. So, wow, not that far from 2 hours. Please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it if you could hit the thanks button if you're so able, which is simply a tip jar for any amount, any amount. Thank Sam Sammy for doing that. And on the Cash App, I thank Todd, Jupiter's Realm, and Elaine Peterson for hitting the Cash App. We're still well under our budget, well under our budget. So if you can help us out, because there's not that much of December left, it's going that quickly. I would really appreciate that. Cash App handle, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56, and I'll put that here. Also for the replay crowd, hello, replay crowd. You're our biggest audience, and I don't hear from you. I don't hear from you almost at all. Media Guy 56 is the Cash App handle. Believe me, I wish I never had to mention it, but if I don't, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And who knows what's going to happen in this new year? Pretty soon, I'm going to have to pay tax on the 2025 Cash App tips and what I've made from Google. And what I've made from Google is about 0.5% or less of what Candace Owens has made. So that's just the way it is. Um, we'll have to find another magic topic, but I know people love this topic the most. And I thank you for liking the live shows. We probably are on live for longer periods of time than most creators, but it goes so fast, and I love being with you guys. So I appreciate it if you can hit the thanks button. So there you go. 54 watching right now. 54. Are people going to his church for the King of Kings or for the King of Rock and Roll? Well, I think it was Elvis himself who said, it's nice that people call me that, but there's only one real king, and that's Jesus Christ. I think that's an Elvis quote. And we've talked about that a lot, Ken. You can go to church for the wrong reasons. It may not because, thank you, Jody. It may not be because you think he was once the king of rock and roll, but um, people go to church for everything because boy, isn't the coffee good there and the donuts. And I get to see people that I've come to know, and I'll volunteer and do things. And then I'll also have, it's like a club. It's like I'm in the Lions Club, or I'm in the Daughters of America Club, or something like that. I go for that reason. Here's here's the number one reason too many Christians go to church: to avoid hell fire. That's really the number one reason. Second would be because they love Jesus and they've got to express what's in their heart because they're truly born of God's Spirit and they're excited and they want to join in and praise the Lord. And the Bible does say, do not neglect the need to fellowship. Does that mean you have to go every week and you have to belong to one single church and all your tithe has to go to one single church? Is the storehouse one single church that the Bible refers to, or can it be other outreaches? I'm not a legalist and I don't claim to be able to answer questions that I really don't know the answer to. Okay. So we'll leave it like that for me. For me. You're free to say what you want. Thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button. You do that, and that hopefully encourages others to do it for whatever amount. Oh, you did make that comparison, Robin Roman. She says when she went, in case you're just listening and not watching us, because some people could be driving along. I'm very portable. You can take me along and don't look at me because you could have an accident. Just by looking at me could do it. But anyway, people go to church for various reasons, but it's an opportunity for the Holy Spirit to reach them, to touch their hearts. Some people don't want that. They don't go to church for that. They go for the other reasons. And their heart is not open. So there you go. But I think that since I believe with all my heart, Pastor Bob Joyce, a lot of questions I don't have answer, but uh, I believe he's spirit filled and under the direction of the Holy Spirit, and that he can be used of God to touch you, to touch your hard heart. So it's all good. It's all good, is the short answer. It's all good. If you didn't get your heart touched, you weren't looking for that to begin with. So many churches, people file into the church. It's dry. As Gus said, Michael Constantine in Big Fat Greek Wedding, talking about the in-laws, future in-laws, um, you know, uh, the the future groom's parents. They're dry as toast. They're dry as toast, burnt toast. Jack, when the documentary, oh, that's another thing we have to keep in mind, Jack. When the documentary gets released, you might as well call the new church obsolete by that point. Good point. And they don't know when it's going to be released. I'm glad that word is flocking that you wrote there at the end. Wasn't sure at first because obsolete by that point because everybody in and their relatives are going to be flocking I'm very curious about the documentary. I did talk to the producers. I did. Um, Seemed like nice gentlemen, very nice gentlemen. Um, I'm not going to say any more right now. I'll say more later. So I know that the question you have is, am I going to be in that documentary? And all I would say is probably not, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I certainly gave those boys an education, I'll tell you that much. Let's see here. I know someone who would go on Wednesday strictly for the potluck. Yeah, they would have, and that was it. That was it, right? It's like my grandfather, my father-in-law in the first marriage. Well, he was getting older. He wasn't going to show up at fires anymore. He was still a fireman, but he would show up at that bar pretty regular, the firehouse bar, pretty regular. He'd be there. That was his social place. Sure. Sure. There's different reasons people do things. Um, but no, part of what churches do is feed people. That's part of what they're called to do. And I often comment, I've made the comment before that some of the biggest outreaches from churches when it comes to food pantries, warming station, homeless, in the winter uh, station, um, regular lunch every day, right here in this city, all done by the most liberal churches we have, especially where the lunch is. Um, Very liberal theology, Episcopalian, the liberal wing of it. So, but they have the outreaches for the poor. Isn't that interesting? But the other churches, I'm not saying the conservative and the Bible believing born again churches don't have outreaches too. They do. But in the lead, the warming station is located in a church right across from the police station. It opens every November something. It's open tonight. There's a men's dormitory and a ladies. They separate it and they give them sandwiches and stuff every night and drinks and what have you. And, they're there tonight when it gets cold, and it'll stay open till like the end of March. It'll stay open to the end of the March. It's called the warming station. Now, I should clarify that the new pastor they have may not be as liberal as the other one was. So I don't know. It's changed. It's changed, perhaps, but they kept the warming station, and you got to respect that. So we'll see about that documentary. We'll see. Meals on Wheels brings food to the elderly too. I know all about that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We don't get them here, but I mean, I've known people that got Meals on Wheels. Very nice thing. But I think the government's involved with that. And that's a good thing. So there you go. Look at that. Already past 2 hours right now. It's been said people don't go to church because uh, they don't. Let me say, it has been said people don't go to church because they don't know a Christian, right? In other words, someone that took the time to witness and invite them to church. Why is it that over the years, the Jehovah Witnesses and the Mormons are the ones that go knocking on doors talking about Jesus Christ? And they have a false gospel, in my opinion. So there you go. And look at that. Teresa Panel from Tupelo, Mississippi hits the Cash App for $20. That's so much appreciated, Teresa. Thank you very, very much. So Teresa, Todd, and Jupiter's Realm and Elaine Peterson hitting the Cash App. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Jody. And thank you, Sammy, for hitting the thanks button. And there's still time. There's still time. Let's see here. And Jody hit it again for another dollar. Thank you very much. Every dollar helps. Every dollar helps. Thank you very, very much. Now I need the reading glasses. My Walmart glasses are downstairs. I'm reading a book. I'd like to read a book that I've never read before, but sometimes it's hard to find something that is going to be right for what we're doing. Some people complaining in Lamentations. I'm not going to read that part. You know, calling out to the Lord. They have need and they're calling out to the Lord. And we do see that. People begging the Lord and calling out to the Lord. I don't think I can find anything in Lamentations that would be right, that would be in context at all. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, thinking about Saturday night at 10 o'clock for the next Worldwide Ramblings. Saturday night at 10. I'm very happy that Karen is not watching on Sunday nights the newest edition of 90 Day Floozies. I'm very proud of her for not watching that. It's a whole new crew. So I was very surprised when she said she wasn't going to watch it. And it's kind of like we got our Sunday nights back. I'm not saying I'll never do another Sunday night show, but it's nice having some Sunday night time with Karen, you know? Jesus is front and center in the Old Testament. And of course, the most popular chapter in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 53, because it lets us know by his stripes that he endured on his way to the cross and while on the cross, we are healed by those stripes. Who has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or commonliness. And when we see him, there is no beauty. In other words, Jesus didn't look like Robert Redford that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we did not esteem him. We cowered, in other words. Surely he was born, he, he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. And we, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. Father God laid on Jesus the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Because said, stop this whole thing. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter willingly, and as a sheep before its shears is silent. So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who will declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people he was stricken, and they made his grave with the wicked, but with the rich at his death. But with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence, nor was there any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased Father God to bruise him. He had put him to grief. When you make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the labor of his soul and be satisfied by the knowledge. My righteous servant shall justify many, for he shall bear, Jesus bared our iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors. He bore our sin. Yet on the third day he rose and returned to the Father, being part of something that's very hard to understand, the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But he became human for us, and he really felt the agony of the cross for us, a bunch of self-serving sinners who love pleasure, who are so easy called away, as the song says. Amen. Amen. So thank you for joining me for this Thursday night edition of Worldwide Ramblings. I appreciate it very much. Plan on seeing you Saturday, but we will have some pop-ons here and there, or a pre-recorded video. So make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Please subscribe if you haven't. The more people we get to subscribe, the more people are notified about this channel. That's how that works. So please hit that subscribe button right now, whether you're watching me live in the last few seconds here or you're watching on the replay crowd. I need you to stand with me, replay crowd. If you don't find a thanks button, sometimes it just says ask. If you don't find a thanks button, go to another recent video and you'll see the thanks button there. You can hit for any amount. It's just a virtual tip jar. We'll mention you in the next live show that we do. Thank you so very much. Big God bless you. Good night, everybody.